Have you ever looked at the price of English courses and thought, wow, that's way too expensive? Maybe you've seen advertisements for programs that promise fluency in just a few months, but they cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. It's easy to believe that if you don't pay for those courses, you'll never improve. But let me tell you something. You don't need expensive classes to improve your English. In fact, you can build fluency, confidence, and strong communication skills without ever stepping into a classroom. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly why expensive classes aren't necessary and what you can do instead to improve faster, cheaper, and with more freedom. Stay with me until the end, because by the time we finish, you'll see that you already have the tools you need to become fluent in English without breaking your budget. Part 1. The illusion of expensive classes. Let's start with a big myth. Expensive classes guarantee better results. Schools and companies spend a lot of money on advertising. They show happy students, friendly teachers, and modern classrooms. It looks impressive. But here's the reality. Paying more doesn't automatically mean you'll learn more. Think about it. If expensive classes worked for everyone, wouldn't all students who took them become fluent? But many people spend years in classes and still struggle to speak. Why? Because fluency doesn't come from money, it comes from consistent practice. Part 2. What expensive classes actually give you. So, what do expensive classes usually provide? A structured curriculum, a teacher who explains grammar rules, homework and assignments, sometimes group practice with other students. These things can help, but none of them are magical. In fact, most of these resources are available for free, or you can create them yourself. The teacher might guide you, but at the end of the day, you are the one who has to practice. Part 3. Why many students struggle after classes. Here's something important. Many students finish expensive courses but still cannot speak fluently. Why? They spend more time listening to explanations than actually practicing. They memorize rules but don't apply them in real conversations. They wait for the teacher to guide them instead of taking initiative. In other words, classes can sometimes create dependency. Students think they need someone else to tell them what to do. But true fluency happens when you practice on your own, daily, naturally, and with motivation. Part 4. The power of self-study. This is where self-study comes in. When I realized that expensive classes weren't necessary, I began to take responsibility for my own learning. I built my own plan using free resources and daily habits. And you know what? It worked better than any class I had ever attended. Self-study gives you freedom. You choose what to learn, when to learn, and how to practice. You don't waste time on things you don't need. You focus directly on your goals. And best of all, it costs nothing. Part 5. Listening practice without classes. Listening is one of the easiest skills to improve on your own. Instead of sitting in a classroom, I trained my ears using podcasts, YouTube videos, audiobooks, movies, and TV shows. First, I used subtitles. Later, I challenged myself without them. I listened to voices from different countries, different accents, and different speaking speeds. The best part? It didn't feel like studying. It felt like entertainment. And because I enjoyed it, I stayed consistent. No expensive class could have given me that variety. Part 6. Speaking practice without classes. Speaking is the skill most people worry about. They think, I need a teacher to practice speaking. But you don't. You can practice speaking alone, anytime, anywhere. Here are the methods I used. Self-talk. Describing what I was doing, thinking, or planning. Storytelling. Retelling my day or explaining something I had learned. Recording myself. Listening back to find mistakes and improve pronunciation. Shadowing. Repeating after native speakers from videos or podcasts. Did it feel strange at first? Yes. But did it work? Absolutely. When I finally spoke to real people, I was ready. And again, this cost me nothing. Part 7, Reading Without Classes. Reading in English doesn't require a teacher. I started with articles online, then moved to ebooks, blogs, and even subtitles. The internet is full of free reading material. The secret is to read what you love. If you enjoy sports, read about sports. If you enjoy technology, read tech blogs. That way, you learn vocabulary naturally and stay motivated. Over time, reading improved my grammar, vocabulary, and comprehension without me ever opening a textbook. Part 8, Writing Without Classes. Writing is another skill you can master without paying for classes. I started a simple journal. Every evening, I wrote a few sentences about my day. Later, I joined free online communities where learners exchange writing feedback. Writing helped me organize my thoughts, improve my grammar, and build confidence for conversations. And once again, it didn't cost a single coin. Part 9, Thinking in English. One of the most powerful changes I made was learning to think in English. At first, I translated everything from my native language, but it was slow and frustrating. So I trained my brain to think directly in English. Whenever I saw something, I named it in English. Whenever I made a plan, I thought about it in English. Slowly, it became a habit. And when I spoke, the words came faster. This habit doesn't require a teacher. It requires practice. Part 10, Real-life interaction without classes. Eventually, I wanted to use my English with real people. But instead of paying for expensive conversation classes, I looked for free opportunities. I joined online language exchange groups. I commented on forums and YouTube videos. I even made friends on social media who wanted to practice English too. These real conversations were more valuable than any classroom role play. And they didn't cost anything. Part 11, The Daily Routine That Works. Let me share a simple routine you can follow. No classes required. 10 minutes of listening, a podcast or YouTube video. 10 minutes of speaking, self-talk, storytelling, or shadowing. 10 minutes of reading, an article, blog, or story. 10 minutes of writing, a short journal entry. That's just 40 minutes a day. Consistently applied, this routine is more powerful than an expensive course because you're actively practicing every skill. Part 12, The Psychological Advantage. Here's something interesting. Learning without classes actually made me stronger. Because I didn't depend on a teacher, I became more independent. I learned how to solve problems myself. I built confidence because I realized I can do this on my own, and that confidence carried into my speaking. When I finally had conversations, I wasn't afraid. So in many ways, not having expensive classes was a gift. Part 13, Mistakes to Avoid. Now let's be honest. Learning without classes is powerful, but it has challenges. Here are mistakes to avoid. Collecting too many resources. Don't waste time jumping between apps and websites. Choose a few and stick with them. Expecting instant results. Fluency takes time. Be patient. Focusing only on grammar. Communication matters more than perfection. Studying passively. Don't just watch or read. Speak, write, and use English actively. Avoid these mistakes and your progress will accelerate. Part 14, Why Expensive Classes Aren't Necessary. So let's return to the main question. Why don't you need expensive classes to improve English? Because everything you need, listening, speaking, reading, writing, thinking, and interacting, is available for free. Because fluency doesn't come from price, it comes from practice. Because the real teacher is not someone in front of you. It's your daily habits, your consistency, and your motivation. Conclusion, final message. Let's wrap this up. You don't need expensive classes to improve your English. You can train your listening with free podcasts, your speaking with self-talk, your reading with online articles, your writing with journaling, and your confidence by thinking in English every day. Expensive courses may look attractive, but true progress comes from what you do consistently, not from how much you pay. So don't wait for the perfect teacher. Don't wait until you have enough money. Start today with what you already have. Thank you so much for watching. If this video inspired you, please like it and subscribe to the channel. I'll continue sharing practical strategies to help you learn English naturally, confidently, and without stress. See you in the next video.